which leads me to America's third problem today, and that is our intelligence apparatus. In one big section of the deep state, the CIA, for example, is not supposed to operate in the United States and target American citizens. But we all know they've been doing that since at least the Patriot Act was signed more than 20 years ago. And because of the release of the Twitter files, we know agencies like the FBI are actively trying to stifle speech as well, which means our intelligence community is trying to control the political narrative here in the United States. And I'd say that constitutes a psyop, wouldn't you? So we have a president who can't do his job. We have an opposition party in the Republicans who, up until now, have pretty much been doing the bidding of congressional Democrats far too often. And we have a deep state in our intelligence communities that are doing everything from meddling in elections to influencing public opinion. Do you see this whole myriad of problems now? So again, I ask the question, who do you think is running the country? I'm not sure that's a question that can actually be answered, but it's an important one. And that's why it was interesting to me when CBS News broke this story just last night, that a U.S. attorney is reviewing documents marked classified from Joe Biden's vice presidency days. The documents were found at the Penn Biden Center. That's right, a place named for him, the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement, and the documents were found in President Biden's vice presidential office. CBS also reporting that the FBI is involved, but not as involved as they were, say, when President Trump, whose lawyers argue that he actually had the power to declassify documents, whereas then Vice President Joe Biden, of course, did not. But there was no raid. There was no show made of any of this, and you have to wonder why. And look, I'm not some rabbit hole conspiracy guy, but we've been finding out for the last couple of years that a lot of those ideas dismissed as conspiracies by the media and the left were and are very much true. Elon Musk said it too. A lot of the so-called conspiracy theories about Twitter were proven true already. And we also know that the entire Russiagate conspiracy was just that, an actual conspiracy, completely made up to drag the image of President Trump down and through the mud. And the intelligence community went right along with all of it. They also suppressed nearly all reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop, that is a story with actual national security implications. And a bunch of top-ranking ex-intelligence operatives signed a letter saying the laptop story was all Russian disinformation and completely made up. You have to believe they also knew they were lying when they did that. Of course they did. It was another way to control the narrative, to favor the Democrats, the party of expanding government, and of course exploding surveillance of you, me, everyone. And apparently the National Archives wasn't even looking for these documents like they were President Trump's. That, according to the initial CBS report, it was actually Joe Biden's lawyers who found the documents and reported them to the National Archives, who then forwarded that information to Merrick Garland's Department of Justice. And I can't help but think this gives some leeway to the DOJ to actually indict President Trump. They can now say, see, we investigated President Biden too. But as I sit here today, I guarantee you, no matter how they measure the two, they will never be measured equally. You know it, and so do I. Now, that doesn't mean this was planned in any form or fashion, but it does give them the excuse to use that, well, they did investigate Biden, so if they indict Trump, they're on solid ground.